guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm gonna go over my self-defense blades, but first I'm gonna need some coffee. Oh, it's so good. Alright, so if you haven't been watching the channel, I do this every now and then. I pull out the blades that I purchased over the last couple of years. Some are used, some are brand new. And I have been getting a lot of comments, you don't even use those. Well, it's a self-defense blade. So if it's a self-defense blade and I used it, that means I had to stab somebody with it. So I'm actually proud of the fact that I didn't have to stab anybody this year. So a lot of these will be TOPS or cold steel, mostly because they make a lot of the quote-unquote Marshall blades. And I did purchase a lot of these on Amazon, so if they are available on Amazon, I will put a link down below. And that's kind of the way you support the channel, is you click on the link and you purchase it, and I get 2 cents on the dollar every time you purchase something, so thank you very much. Another way to support this channel is to go to Patreon, and it only costs you $1 a month, and you get to watch videos like this before anybody else. And of course, there's always the free way to support this channel by liking, subscribing, and adding some comments down below. It really helps with the algorithms. All right, guys, let's get into it. Tupperware, gone. All right, first knife we're going to talk about is this little sucker right here. I'm not a big fan of neck knives, all right, but this is the Mini TAC. The Mini TAC by Cold Steel. All right, it's a very, very small knife. All right, I won't have all the specs because I want to kind of breeze through this. This does come in a Tanto. It also comes in a clip point. It does have a very grippy G10 or very grippy material, and it does have quite a bit of skeletonization. It does have that injection molded sheath, which is not terrible, but it rattles quite a bit. All right, so I'm not a big fan of neck knives. Cold Steel does sell a clip for this, so if you wanted to wear it on your belt, you could, but that's just one of mine. This is the TOPS Devil's Claw 2. Now this I've actually worn a couple times. There's things I like about it and things that I don't. Again, Kydex sheath. This has the 2 straps, so you can adjust them if you wanted to. You could wear it lefty, you could wear it righty, that kind of thing. But just take a look at that. I mean, that is a gorgeous knife. A little bit of a karambit. Does have some jimping on top. It does have this blue and black micarta or G10. It is gorgeous. This kind of knife, again, does take a little bit more training. But ideally, if you needed to use your hands and then pull your hand back and go to work, you can, which I like, which is what I really like about that. And TOPS always makes a really good product. I think this is 1095 steel with traction coating. Ideally, that's mostly what TOPS is going to use. So really nice. Just give you another look at that, how gorgeous that is. That is really, really gorgeous work. I also will say that I am on my Three River Blades channel, and business are making a Marshall style blade, so go ahead and go to threeriverblades.com if you get a chance and pre-order it. It's called the Back Alley. All right, pretty good stuff. Here's another one from TOPS. All right, this is called the Interceptor. I don't know if this is being made anymore, but the Interceptor is a skeletonized style blade. This one has a Tanto point. Show you the other side. Very, very thin blade. And you'll see a lot of these skeletonized blades are good for quite a bit. You know, they're really good because they're just thin, lightweight, easy to tuck inside, that kind of thing. This does come with a spring clip, which I was never a big fan of. These spring clips are good if you wanted to carry them horizontal, or if you wanted to carry vertical, you can do that. The only thing about these spring clips is that they are attached, they're permanently affixed to the sheath, and you cannot take it off. All right, so that's one of the problems with that. But really nice blade, and I'm a big fan of TOPS, as you can see. I don't know if this is available anymore. I think I got this on the secondary market. All right, talking about another tops. This thing is absolutely ridiculous. Okay, TAC-TOPS. Look how big this is. All right, this thing is so freaking big. This does nothing except self-defense or maybe, you know, reaping your wheat fields. I mean, this thing is just insane. I do like it. It does have this huge oversized loop in the back, and it does even have a breaker in the back, if you can see that. But again, this is one of those blades that I think you need to train for this. This scares the crap out of me. I've never carried this before because of its size. It does have a back sharpened edge, so it has a front edge and a back edge. The sheath itself, again, TOPS makes, is excellent. It does have just one strap on there, so ideally I think you're supposed to put this on the inside of your pants. I don't know if I want to put this much steel on the inside of my pants, to be honest with you. But again, TOPS makes a great product, and if you wanted an ultimate carry scythe, then I think you'd be okay with this. Hey, it is Halloween, so I don't see why not, right? So really awesome. More of a this is more of a tool, more of a first responders tool, if you will. It is called the Interceptor as well, and it's just a smaller size, so I'll give you an idea. So the Interceptor blade style, I believe, was designed for first responders, and I could see why, because this one is more of a self-defense knife, where this is more of a rescue knife. It does have that point that's kind of dropped, so it's not a big deal. It does have very comfortable handle, and I think that's why I got this one. Is it just feels like a rescue tool. All right, you're not going to break it. Traction coating, again, with that spring clip on there. Most TOPS knives do come with this whistle. I call it the rape whistle. I don't think it's necessary, but you know, it's a freebie, so good on you, TOPS. Here is sick. All right, if you can find one of these, I highly recommend that you purchase it, because they're no longer being made. TOPS did get the patent or the go ahead to make a couple of these. They came in two different styles. One was this, which was the Tanto, and one was the Hunter type style. It does have an integral guard. It does have some type of breaker in the back, lanyard hole, traction coating, the whole nine, and jimping on top. But this thing is ridiculous. It's cool. I don't know how else to say it. Self-defense, yeah, but this is more of a tactical vest. I don't think you can carry this around too much. It does have a swivel clip, which is plastic. It's not metal. So, but again, it's only one directional, but it's really cool. I found it on the secondary market. If you can find one, then go ahead and snap it up. They're not going to be cheap. They're not. This I just got as well. This thing is awesome. All right, this is, I want to say this correctly, is the Szabo Express. Szabo Express. All right, really nice double-edged blade. All right, they come in single-edged and double-edged depending on your state laws, but look how thin that is. That is super, super thin, super lightweight. I do like the person that that designed this for TOPS. Nice traction coating. I mean, this thing is just super light. The Kydex sheet is sufficient. Whoever's making the Kydex sheet at TOPS is doing a very good job. I took the single clip off and I added 2 spring clips. These are number 5 spring clips. There was one single clip that was on here. I don't think that's enough, but again, to each his own. I rather have it more secure, because this is more of a knife that you're going to wear either on the outside or the inside, and I want to make sure that this knife comes out because it's a life and death situation. So really, really nice. Again, I told you I have a lot of TOPS knives. Speaking of TOPS knives, all right, so this is cool. This is the Devil's Elbow. All right, it's really neat, and I have carried this before. Ideally, it's just a double-edged pokey kind of thing. All right, so really nice, thin, lightweight, and it's just super easy to carry. It's almost like you know, a little tiny firearm, so you can grab it in both directions and put this on your belt. You'll forget it's there, just grab it and go, kind of thing. All right, so that's the Devil's Elbow. Again, spring clip on one side only. All right, so this is the Street Scalpel 2. I have the one, but I have the one at work. All right, so ideally it's just a shiv. All right. The difference between this one and the first one is it has a finger grooving here to give you some purchase. The first one is just a rectangular tube of steel. All right, so it's kind of neat because it is almost 1/4 of an inch thick, and it does have some really, really nice liners. And again, ideally, it's just for self-defense. You could use it for other things like opening Amazon boxes, that kind of thing. Lightweight, really nice Kydex sheath, and it does have the straps. You can take the straps out and reverse it if you want. You could probably also take it off, and if you wanted to, get some type of clip system to hold it up vertically as well. But these are really nice because these are super lightweight, and then once they're on your belt, you probably forget it's even there. All right, this is just in. This is my Cut 4.0. This one, it has the tan handle. They also sell it in black. I always wanted one of these, and I just recently purchased it. I don't know what took me so long, but it does have that nice loop in the back, that nice ring. So it will allow you to do reverse hand, change it over, that kind of thing. And also, if you're working with something else and you need to change your hands, or if you're working, let's see if I can do it. So if I need to work and then drop it, go to my firearm, I could do that. All right, so that's kind of what that loop is for, right? So you don't drop this. Ideally, the sheath could be a little bit better on this one. I just feel that it's a little loose. I mean, it's in there, but I think I'm gonna tighten it up. Again, comes with these straps. Again, 2 colors, really nice. I wanted the Coyote tan scales. That's just me, I like it. All right, guys, so this is the KOBUN TDI. I have a couple of them in there, so we'll go and jump on them. This is typically the original version, or close to the original version. The only difference is here that you have a tanto tip with some serrations. I think a lot of people wanted to use this as a utility knife as well as a self-defense knife. I really don't have a problem with that. The sheaths themselves are a little bit quirky. They do take some working in. The clips, kind of chintzy. I found that the clips after a while start to bend at a place, so you kind of got to fix that. You can take it off, and I do have other types of clips from Cold Steel, so I would recommend looking into that and wearing it a couple times before you actually need it. Also, they have practice knives like this, so if you needed to, I would definitely get a practice knife. This I've actually rocked a couple times. This is another skeletonized. It's called the FDX 66. I do like that new traction coating in tan. All right, and it is a super, super thin knife. This is more of a utility knife. It also comes with a tan sheath, and it also comes with tan straps. I like it because it's super lightweight and it's just thin. It kind of disappears. You can actually throw this in your pocket and forget it's there. I mean, it's just small. It's only got like a maybe 3-inch, 2 to 3 inch blade on it. It does have some jimping on the back. And again, I don't know, it's not comfortable enough or have a large enough handle to be any type of crazy self-defense knife, but it is pretty good. This is CRKT's Sting. This is all one piece, and it is rusted because I didn't take care of it. This is all one piece. Drop forge, or they put it in a mold and kind of tempered it and heat treated. All right, so it's just a stamped piece of metal. It's all one piece. All right, so I think that's kind of cool. The handle is a little bit too slippery for a self-defense knife, in my opinion, but it does come with this really nice sheath, and it did come with straps where you can strap it around your arm or your leg or something like that. Very heavy, kind of robust kind of feeling, but it's just, the handle's too slick, in my opinion. And yeah, it'll work in a pinch, but I would put some skateboard tape behind this, something like that. So another Cold Steel. This is the KOBUN. All right. So it has that nice grippy rubbery handle, which I'm a big fan of. It does have a hollow grind tanto. This is about a 5-inch blade, super lightweight, super thin, which is nice. This is AUS-8 steel, and it does come with a Secure X or over injection molded sheath. Now the clip that came with it was crap. It was a metal clip that looked like a money clip, and every time you pulled the knife, the whole thing would come out with sheath and all. So I changed it out for a mini tech lock, and that seemed to work very well. It also has a bunch of other pieces here, cutouts here that you can change it. So I like this one. Once I fix the sheath, this thing is pretty much all you need. Any type of self-defense, or even just if you needed to use it for regular utility. Ideally, it's going to be a little bit weird taking out a mini wakizashi and, you know, kind of flashing that around, but I like it. I think it's comfortable, and I mean, for the size that it's perfect. I would even take it to a restaurant and cut up my steak with it. Why not, right? So really, really nice blade. Another TDI. This one is the Hinderer, I believe. Yeah, this is the Hinderer design. Okay, so a little bit different. You do get that Warncliffe style. I do like this. I'm a big fan of the style, and it does have a better sheath in my opinion, but here's the thing. It has this lock on here. All right, and the lock is not bad because once it goes in, it goes in. The problem is if you're in a rush and you forget to take that lock out, now you're kind of rushing to try to get it out, and it might cause you some delay, which could be a very big problem in a self-defense situation. It does still have that crazy clip, the cheap spring clip, and as you can see, this one I had to bend it in order for it to work correctly. All right, so I'm not a big fan of that. The sheets, you can get them in Kydex if you want, but that's just another TDI. This is another, oh, this is a Kershaw. All right, again, talk about simplicity. Simplicity seems to be ideally the best. All right, this Kershaw blade, I forget what they call it. Yeah, I don't know the name of it. If I could find the name, I'll annotate it. But this Kershaw blade is probably the perfect size for self-defense. It is one type of use only. It is a dagger, double-edged blade, super thin. Okay, it's not thin enough to where it would bend, but because of its thinness, it is super lightweight. It does have a rubber handle, which I'm a huge fan of, especially if you're going to do this type of work. This is just defense knife only. The sheath itself is good. Again, injection molded. The only problem, again, was the clip. The clips that they put on these knives are just trash. So again, I switched for a mini tech lock and never had a problem, never looked back. All right. It also has more latching points, so if you wanted to hang it on your LBV or something like that, you could, but Kershaw did a great job. This is just simplicity at its best. So this is CRKT Dragon. They no longer make this. This was given to me by a friend of mine whose owner, who was also a friend of mine, passed away. He had COVID and he didn't make it. All right, so this was his knife, and when we were going through his locker and stuff, he gave it to me, you know, and I carry this with me as much as I humanly can. I don't want to lose it. It is not in the greatest shape, but it's very personal to me. The only thing I don't like, the injection molded, again, has that, it's good, but it's not perfect. So when I brought it home because what I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten this up a little bit, and I am going to put some type of clip. All right, so he used to wear this on his belt all the time, and again, as a personal reminder that life is short, and you never know when it's your turn. I think that especially when you're carrying knives, you need to remember that. Okay, so thank you, and God bless you, Dave. Next knife again is a Karambit. This is with that Secure X sheath. This thing is the Tiger's Claw by Cold Steel. I think it's Tiger. Yeah, Steel Tiger. And this happens to be one of the most claw-like self-defense knives I've ever seen. It does look like a tiger's claw. I would not be surprised if, knowing Lynn Thompson, he took a tiger's claw and just put it on there and said, all right, make it bigger. Again, one of those, rings where, again, if you had to, go to work, drop your weapon, and then go back to work, you could. This thing comes super razor sharp. It's not overly expensive. It is AUS-8. Really nice grind on it. This sheath is probably the only sheath that you can get that would work on it. I do not mind the plastic clip that's on here. It seems that it works. I have carried this a couple times. It just is really big for a self-defense knife, in my opinion. It depends on, where you're going with it, but you can see the size of this is almost the size of this. I mean, it's pretty big. So good knife. If you're a Karambit guy, for the price, you really can't beat this. Another TDI. All right, this is the plain edge version of that TDI. All right, I like this a little bit better, in my opinion. I like to keep things very simple. Again, it's just grab it and go kind of thing. This is the larger version of it. It has a 3-inch blade, and again, I had to fix, see how I put the loops on there, whereas this one has just regular clips. All right, so the loops were from cold steel. I just had to adjust them, and it just makes it a whole lot easier to wear. All right, I don't trust that clip anymore, and a lot of this is friction fit, so you can see that's friction fit. All right, another beauty from cold steel. This is the another beauty from cold steel. This is the Safe Keeper. All right, it is a T knife or a push dagger. It is only one-sided. Again, for those states that don't allow two-sided knives. In retrospect, I should have got the two-sided version. I don't know, maybe it wasn't available, but again, the sheath on it is sufficient. I do like that it, this plastic clip does come out, so if it breaks, you can use that, and it is reversible. So if you needed to reverse the knife, you could. All right, depending on how you want to carry it. And I just think it's a decent little blade. It's a, get off me kind of thing and then run. All right, you're not chopping any woods with this. That's for sure. Let's see what else. All right, another one of my favorites, the Grim Reaper. All right, this is a TOPS knife push dagger. Again, one-sided. This is a little bit more heavy duty. This is a 1/4 of an inch thick. It does have a different type of hand hold, as you can see here, and has this little cutout on the side. And what you can do is you can put your thumb up there and get it a little bit more pressure if you like. You decide. I'm not doing any type of wood tasks with this, but again, this is TOPS knives. So again, this is a new purchase. I do like the Kydex sheath. It fits very, very well, but it also does have that spring clip, which is, it's always hard on the hands, but it does work. All right, so big fan of that. These are not in production, so if you can find one, definitely get one. The TDI, I think this is the original TDI. All right, a little bit smaller. All right, a little bit smaller style, and it works. Again, the sheath's always a little funky, and it does have that K-bar clip, which I'm not a big fan of, but I think this is the original size. Way smaller than the other ones, but again, it's just a hey, get off me kind of thing. All right, guys, so this is the Unzipper. All right, so what TOPS did is they had something like this called the Lioness, or it's like a female knife, and the blade is actually on this side, not this side. And they made this the Unzipper. So ideally, it's a reverse cut knife. All right, so you pull it out and you cut this way. Not terrible. For me, it was always difficult to remember that this round sweeping belly is no longer the sharp edge. So that's why I stopped carrying it, because I didn't want to cut myself, or in a life and death situation, use the wrong side. So It takes some practice to get used to, but I think it's a good knife. You just got to practice with it and remember what the sharp edge is. It does come with a strap, as you can see here, and that you can take off and change, if you will, but it's called the Unzipper. This is probably the lightest knife that you will ever carry. It is the CRKT, and I think it's called the Spark. Or this little knife right here is ideally a neck knife, but I took that off and I used the belt clip. The reason why I use the belt clip is because it's just smaller and lightweight. Like the belt actually comes right here and just goes this way, and it's so lightweight you forget that it's even there. Really, really lightweight poker utility knife. Nobody is getting scared of this knife at all. Nobody. Okay, so really nice little knife. And for the price, you really can't beat how small this is. It does have a little fob at the end of it, which is nice because it kind of fits inside that little pinky area and it helps you to control the knife. So I would recommend this, no problem, and it's very, very cheap. All right, guys, so this is the TOPS 1027. All right, just to give you an idea of what that looks like. I bought this because it was cool looking. I've never carried it because I'm confused with its design. I do like the fact that it's TOPS. TOPS makes great stuff. I do like that it has the loop on it so you won't lose it. It does have really comfortable finger grooves. It does have a 4-inch blade, but I don't understand why we have a saw or a groove making device. All right, it just doesn't make sense to me. The sheath is really nice. They did a very good job. The sheath is actually very long, but the traction coating is beautiful. It's tan, and really I just bought it because it looks cool. But I didn't know if TOPS was trying to go with a small utility knife / karambit, and if that's the case, then fine. But this is not a self-defense knife. This is just too big, too clunky. I don't need to make any type of ridges in somebody's skin, or it just doesn't make sense. But as a karambit style utility knife, I think it hit the mark, but other than that, it's not really a self-defense knife, so don't get confused. Again, pretty decent sheath. Again, I don't like this, but that's okay, that's just me. So this is one of my all-time favorites. This is the Cold Steel Push Dagger. This is the knife that you would see in the movie Platoon, where Barnes and Charlie Sheen's character get into a fight in the bunker. All right, so I bought this a very, very long time ago, so hence the leather sheath. All right, the sheath kind of wore out a little bit, so I had to put some a zip tie on there just to make it a little bit tighter. The clip is adequate. All right, this is when Cold Steel was doing leather sheets. All right, and as you can see the leather kind of peeling off, that's because I did wear this during a couple missions in combat, and I had the duct tape around it. All right, I just didn't want to lose it. All right, so a really good knife. It does have that rubber grip. I mean, this is kind of the way you make it. This thing is not coming out of your hand if you needed to use it. So really good. The sheath needs a little work, but again, Cold Steel still rocking it after all those years. All right, so this again is California's Cobra from TOPS Knives. As you can see, it's a funky design. I'm not going to say anything negative about it because I don't know too much about it on how to use it, which is probably why I haven't carried it. So ideally, it has two sides, as you can see. It has two edges, and it has this little palm swell here. So you can use it like that, or you can use it like that, and it does have this little point there as well. And I think some martial artists made this through TOPS, and it's very cool and funky, but I just don't know how to use it. I guess it's sort of like the clinch pick, if you will, and it's cool. Again, I would love to learn how to use this kind of style knife, but it is definitely a learner's curve on this. All right, another TDI. I got a bunch of these things in here. All right, this is called the TDI, I think detective version or the covert or whatever. You can see how small that handle is. So it's the same size blade, but they made it even smaller. So for people that wear plain clothes, it's a tiny little knife. The sheath on this is actually significantly better. It's a little bit flatter, pancake style, but it also came with a regular clip. All right, so you can wear it. I like to wear it in this fashion. So, you know, the belt clip goes this way, and then when you pull up on it, it comes out. So, nice little belt knife, again, for self-defense only, but that's the covert version of the TDI. All right, another Karambit. This one's made by MTech. This is probably the cheapest Karambit that you can ever get. It reminds me of the, you know, street fair knife guy, you know, everything's made in China kind of thing. It does work. I mean, it's not that sharp, but it will work. Again, if you're somebody that, you know, needs this in a rush and you don't mind spending very little money, it works. Let's see if I could put that in there without cutting myself. It does come with a friction sheath that does come with a belt clip. That's not, yeah, that's the problem right there. So the belt clip is on top, okay, and it's just a belt loop, but there's nothing holding it together. So that's got to be fixed. Again, what do you want for a couple bucks? I think these are still available, so if you want, I'll put the links down below. All right, I'm a big fan of Browse blades. This is the Silent Soldier. Very, very small EDC kind of knife where if you needed to, you can put your finger in there and just use it as a hey, get off me. Pretty sharp. It did come with a neck lanyard. I don't like the neck lanyards, but it also came with a belt clip. So this is very easy to carry, all right? So you just slip it on your belt, forget it's there, and then if you need it, very, very easy to take out. So Browse blades. I think you can buy these. I think he did a deal with Kershaw knives, so you might be able to get these for a little bit cheaper, or you can buy them from his website. Another TOPS knife. This is the TOPS Copilot or Cockpit. TOPS, what is this? Oh, Cockpit. TOPS Cockpit Pilot or something like that. It's a cool knife. I do like the ergos on this where you can put your finger right through. I think this knife was developed when people were trying to storm the cockpits of airlines. This was back in the day. Now they have locked doors, right, on an airplane. And it was designed specifically for those guys. It is double-edged, although this top edge is a little fat for what it is. But again, it's just a poke and go kind of thing. I do like this knife. I do believe they still are available. The only thing that I don't like is the sheath. The sheath made out of Kydex is great. The belt, and you know how I feel about this clip. But because the sheath needs to clip in, there's no way to actually grab this, and there's no purchase on the handle. Like, in my opinion, this sheath needed to come down here, move the clip down a little bit so you can grab it. It is really virtually no easy way to grab that knife, but it is a good knife. I'm going to say that it is a good knife. I did rock this a couple times, and again, that's what I found, that I wasn't able to grab it as easily as I wanted to. All right, this is the C.A.T Q344. All right, another Marshall blade, very small, lightweight. This is a good knife, again, for your field use, for your utility use. I think it does also come in a hunter's point, but again, you can see how there's not a lot of grip here. It's significantly better than the Cockpit Commander, but you know, I like it. Still available on TOPS website. TDI, I didn't even break it out of the of the packaging because it's too damn small. All right, so that's available if you want that. I didn't even grab it. This is actually turning into one of my favorites. This was the Felony Stop. So thank you, Tops, for listening. I think the guy that made this was a former cop or still a cop. I don't know. But the Felony Stop knife is probably one of my favorite Marshall blades just because of the ergos. The ergos on here are great. It has this nice big deep thumb ramp. It has a double-sided edge, again, for pokey stuff. And the sheath is now able to pull that knife out. See, so that, like I said, with this, look at the differences. All right, so you can actually grab a hold of this thing and pull it out. All right, there's no way this is slipping out of your hand, or you're not going to be able to grab it. They did a little different with Tops sheath clips, where they put it on the side as opposed to having that big rivet in the front, and it is removable, so if it bends or breaks, you can change it. Great idea, Tops. All right, so this is one of my favorite carry knives. You can change the clip and rotate it, so if you wanted to carry it in a horizontal, you could, or right now it's set up for vertical, and you can switch it from left to right if you are lefty or righty. That's what's so good about a removable clip. Thank you, Tops, for doing that. This is the Colonel blades. All right, this was a fantastic blade knife. Now, what I had done is I sharpened both edges. There's really no reason to have a single edge pokey stick. All right, there isn't. Something this small is only made for self-defense. It does have this large finger hole right here. All right, and the reason that's there is because if you need to use it with gloves, you can. All right, so that makes sense. You know, and what I loved about this blade was it's just small, simple, lightweight. They did cut down the handle size, which was good. It is an injection molded sheath, but it is substantial, and the clip on it, even though it's plastic, I mean, this thing is great. You can take it off, put it on the other side. It was never a problem, and it's so small and lightweight that you can put it inside the waistband. All right, so again, if you see that it's all scratched up and dinged, that was me. This thing came pristine when I bought it, and I put double edges on there, and this was before I was a little bit easier to before I was actually good at sharpening knives. But excellent blade. Does have a little bit of rattle in there, but again, if you can find one of these, grab it because they're not available. Oh, so this is another Tops. I think I got it in the battle box. It's called the Poker, the Tops Poker. And this was kind of a disappointment. Now, I got it in the battle box, so I'm not really upset with it because I got it with a whole bunch of other stuff that was probably worth more than this knife. I understand the concept. I don't understand the blade edge. It's sort of like a round, straight razor kind of thing. Something like this is more of a poker as opposed to a slicer. So although it's cool in concept, and it is super lightweight, guys, I'm not going to lie. This is really, really light. It just didn't do it for me. I don't like this blade edge on this type of knife. If you would have went straight out, maybe made like a, you know, again, double edged blade, it would have been better. The sheath is really good. And again, you can take the straps off if you like, but this was not a very good design in my opinion. This was probably the easiest to conceal blade that you're ever going to get. This is the Benchmade SOCP. I don't know. It's just a basic, it's a dagger or a letter opener. All right. But the thinness on this, the lightweight, and the purchase is pretty good. There's two different sizes. This is the large size. There's also a smaller size. There's also, I believe you can get this in a tan. This is a freaking great dagger. I've clipped this onto my pants pocket, and you could put it all the way in your pocket, and it's like not even there. It's super lightweight. The sheath is done very well. Again, it's only for self-defense. It's not for anything else, but you just throw this in your pocket and go. It's fantastic. All right, so the last one I'm going to talk about is this. This is a polymer style blade. All right, this, you can still buy these, you can make these. This is outlawed in some states, specifically New York, because it will pass through metal detectors. Okay, so you have to buy it with a metal ring on it, so it won't pass the metal detectors. Some of the dumb shit that goes on in these state laws are just ridiculous. I could use a pencil and kill you. It doesn't make a difference. All right, I'm not John Wick, but this is the idea behind it, where polymer style knives are good to go. This does not come with a sheath, so you got to make something or have something available. Clandestine spy stuff, I think you just need to do away with. But what I liked about this is the weight. Okay, so the weight is really, really convenient. This is something that I would give to my wife. It doesn't require any type of training. You just pull it out, go to work, and you're good. It's because it's lightweight. It's not used for anything else. This is polymer, and it does have some serrations on there, but it's a poker. All right, this is a pokey thingy. You're not going to cut up any type of bread or anything like that. You probably could cut open a sandwich with the serrations on here, but that's all it's for, guys. That's it. It is made specifically for poking, self-defense, and get out of dodge. And, make sure that you're obeying your state laws by putting a metal ring on there. All right, there's a couple different versions of this. I think guys were making micarta type style knives for that specific defense. The T knives or the T knife style or the push dagger in the plastics are probably going to be the most prevalent, because you don't need this long handle. If you cut this handle down just a bit, it would work just as well. So if you're looking for one of these, try to find it. If you can find one, snap it up. It's actually a decent tool for exactly what I'm talking about, which is self-defense. All right, guys, so I hope you appreciated that presentation. What I need you to do is to like, subscribe, share, add some comments down below. If you want to become a Patreon member, please do so. It only costs you $1 a month, and you get to watch videos like this before anybody else. Check out all the links that I have down below. I will put some of the links for Amazon for all these knives down below, so if you're interested, take a look at them. If they're available, they're available. If they're not, they're not. Thank you very much, guys, and as always, stay safe.